So, Monster Hunter Wilds had some ups and downs. It's a very fun game for some. The pricing for the game is reasonable, but at the same time, kinda questionable. So the question is Monster Hunter Wilds good or not? Well, it's a bit more complicated than that, and that's what I will talk about it in this video. Well, anyways, hello, this is Artsi, and I played Monster Hunter Wilds, and my experience playing the game was something else. Before I dive into what Monster Hunter Wilds gameplay experience can offer to the players, let's first start off with a controversy that's revolving around this game, so that you can also know why the video is on 360p rather than 1080p or above. Monster Hunter Wilds had a very positive launch on the console when it came out on February 28, 2025. The gameplay was fun, a smoother gameplay, better story, engaging dialogues, just an overall better experience. But that's only on the console. When it came to PC, it's a different story. Overall gameplay experience on the console was very good. Players who were playing on the console didn't complain much because the game was optimized for the console at the start. To be fair, it's much more easier to optimize on the console rather than the PC. Consoles have standardized hardware allowing Capcom to target specific configurations. Besides, game developers have plenty of experience when making games for the console all the way back to the 90s. Or was it the 80s? I can't remember. Well, anyway, optimizing for the PC is very much hard to do. I understand. I don't know if it's every year, but the hardware always changes frequently. So optimizing on the PC is kind of a nightmare, but that doesn't excuse Capcom to frustrate their consumers. Instead of Capcom ensuring the players that they would fix the game, they instead offer a band-aid to the players, like posting the removal of the shader caches that made the game very unplayable and made the consumers and the community very mad. Let this be a lesson, and know your customers, it's gonna be bad for business. Feelings are generally ignored in the gaming space, so please, fix your damn game. Because my experience with playing the game is very much in the middle of what players are feeling right now. I love Monster Hunter Wilds, even more so than Monster Hunter World, but at the same time, I get frustrated every time I play the game because of some technical issues that happens every now and then. Well, to be fair, those two games are the only Monster Hunter games that I've played, but still, I love Monster Hunter Wilds regardless. Except for the frame drops that I experience in the game and some online connection issues that happens. I truly want to recommend this game, but I only recommend it to the people who have very good PC and very good internet. If you don't, you're gonna have one hell of an experience. And I don't mean it in a positive way. Brother, this monster. Oh my god! Oh my god, are you serious right now? There are also some cases with people who have very good PC, but also has, or even worse, than the experience I had with Monster Hunter Wilds. Maybe they went ultra graphics with uncapped frame rates. I don't know. It could damage your PC or laptop because of that, but again, the game should be optimized at the very start like Warframe or Elden Ring. Some of the people who are watching this and have played those two games should know what I'm talking about, regardless if you like or don't like those games. Capcom used their own engine for Monster Hunter Wilds called the RE engine, which they mostly use it for, of course, Resident Evil games. Which, so far, Resident Evil games are optimized, but the difference with it here is that Resident Evil games are linear or semi-linear games, not open world like Dragon's Dogma 2 or Monster Hunter Wilds. Even the Dead Rising remaster also had issues. Not as much as like Monster Hunter Wilds, but you get the point, right? What I'm trying to say is, maybe they're still new to the engine when it comes to open world games like Monster Hunter Wilds. It doesn't excuse them for what the state of the game is right now, but I could understand why it is in this state right now. Besides, technical issues or not, They did a good job for making the game fun and fresh at the same time. Gameplay mechanics was better, better story, better exploration, better monsters, well, in my opinion, better handler, better characters, better face, better body. Where was I? Oh yeah, better face, better body. Overall, a much better experience than the previous game. So now let's dive into what makes games into games. The most important thing of all in games is the gameplay experience. Let's start with the gameplay first. What you'd expect from Monster Hunter games is still there. Game mechanics of course are still the same, just with more improvements and more importantly, more flexibility. I should mention this again, just in case, but the only Monster Hunter games that I've played is Monster Hunter Wilds and World. But comparing these two games are more similar to each other than other versions of Monster Hunter games. They both are very similar with slightly different game mechanics, like with the Clutch Claw. Clutch Claw in World is one of the core mechanics in that game, where you can use the Clutch Claw to grapple onto the monsters to damage them, exposing their weakened skin for more damage, or bumping their head to the wall to give them a concussion. In Monster Hunter Wilds, it's still a core mechanic to the game, but not as much as in World, where in Wilds you can't grapple onto the monster, but instead can gather materials from far away or using the environment to your advantage. It's an optional addition to your playstyle. You can hunt the monsters without using the Clutch Claw, but it is also a very good item for your arsenal. They change how you use the item, albeit just slightly, but that's enough to make the gameplay experience fresh but also familiar at the same time. Some of you might be thinking, if World has the Clutch Claw as their core mechanic to make the monsters easier to fight, how in the world can you do those things in Wilds? Well, you can injure the monsters now just with attacking them with your weapon over time, exposing their skin to do more damage, or can do cool animations when you hit it with the new added function in the game called Focus Mode. So what is Focus Mode? Focus Mode allows you to carefully aim your attacks or guards in the direction the camera is facing, and can also highlight any wounds or weak points on the monster. With this single new function, it changes the whole gameplay experience for me. Just adding a way to make your attacks or guards in the direction of the camera is facing is very, very good. That's one of my major complaints in World, especially for slow and charging weapons like the Great Sword or Gun Lance. Other improvements is that now you can retrieve the traps that you set up and even your palicos. Thank fucking god. They added more slingshot varieties, including some of the craftable ones, where you can lure the monsters or having a big doo-doo pad to make the multiple monsters in the area go away. There are also bugs in the map that can heal you, give more stamina, give some buffs here and there. The game improved a lot of things that I haven't yet covered. I'm not gonna list every single improvements in this video because it's gonna take a while for me to list it all out. But there is one more improvement that I want to cover more in this video. Well, actually two more. First one I'm gonna mention, of course, are the weapons, the tool that every hunter needs. Well, maybe except for this guy.
Die 1,000 deaths. Mesots.
Now, what did they change for the weapons? Well, not much really. What you can do in World and maybe even Rise, you can still do here in Wilds, just with more improvements, and the improvements I'm talking about is how fast you can chain your combo, how you have more options to dodge, and yes, even with the slow weapons while in a combo state, and how you can satisfyingly parry or clash with the monsters. All these little changes that I added for each weapon are all unique and very good to control. It still feels a little wonky, but you feel more in control using each weapon. Besides the melee weapons, the ranged weapons in Wilds are a vast improvement than their older versions. Using the ranged weapons feels so good now, especially with the bow. My experience using the bow in World was kinda boring. There wasn't a lot to do and I get frustrated every time I run out of ammo. But in Wilds, they changed all of that and it's now one of my favorite weapons in the game. If you want to try out more weapons, don't worry, because they added a new function in this game where you can now equip 2 weapons when you go hunting at the same time. I recommend you guys trying each weapon, because weapons in this game are all very fun and can have very fun combinations. Now, all of these improvements are fun and all, but the one thing that made me want to buy this game on release was because of what I saw in the trailer. And that's the exploration of the game. And that's making it into an open world experience. It's not a unique change, by the way, but it is a change that Monster Hunter haven't experienced yet, but we all are familiar with. Turning the game into an open world experience, seamlessly going into base camps, and can see other players when you're online, not just in the Grand Hub, but also in the camps. All of these little changes adds up and surprisingly, it's enough for me and other people to buy this game on release. The scale for each region are massive. Running on foot on each map is gonna take you a while to reach your destination. Now luckily, mounts in the game are already usable at the start, as also it is part of the core gameplay mechanic when hunting the monsters. You can attack while you're in your mount, have an extra bag for your mission, and it's also the way for you to alternate between your weapons. Besides the technical issues for this game, now that I think about it, I can't think of anything that's negative regarding to the gameplay. Maybe I guess the only negative I can think of is that the game is a bit easier now, but in my opinion, that's only because of the game being more flexible with the controls, especially how you can chain combo with your weapon and how you have more options to dodge and block compared to previous games. Now when it comes to monsters, I guess you can say they're also easy. He's doing that Bruce Lee thing, stop! What the fuck? Yeah, no, that's not right. Okay, so I gotta say this first. You guys are right. Monsters in Wilds are easy. That's true. But same can be said also in World. One of the reasons why Wilds is easy is because Capcom improved the combat system, making it more a smoother experience. And I believe, again, most of you guys who played Monster Hunter Wilds are already an experienced player. Meaning, you've played a lot of Monster Hunter games before this one. Or, if some of you guys are playing Monster Hunter Wilds as your first game in the series, but saying the game quote-unquote too easy, then good for you. I am proud of you for not watching some how-to guides in YouTube, or maybe using the SOS flare to summon the AI, or maybe summoning other players carrying you throughout the game. Like I said, if you really know how to properly quote-unquote hunt in this game, then the game will be easy for sure. And that applies also in Monster Hunter World and Rise for that matter. The first time I played Monster Hunter World, I had a bit of a hard time, not gonna lie. Not because of the monsters though, but mostly because of the controls in that game. My first weapon of choice was the gun lance. Now looking back, I think it was a bad idea to start with that weapon because it was slow, has wonky movements. It was really frustrating to use that weapon. But over time, I got used to it and I hunted the monsters quite easily after that. It took me maybe within a week to finish the base game story in Monster Hunter World. In Monster Hunter Wilds, it took me a week or two to reach the current endgame. The really quote-unquote hard monsters in World, in my opinion, started after finishing the high rank story. Same can be said in Rise. The hard monster there starts at the end of high rank. I don't know if it's called high rank in Rise. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below. But you can see my point, right? The really hard monsters starts when you can see the monsters on the map that has a purple aura and some of the rare orange ones in the event mission category. With the exception of the Iceborne DLC, Monster Hunter World didn't start with all of these monsters. One by one, they updated the monsters before releasing the Iceborne DLC. Same can be said with Monster Hunter Rise, and that's no exception for Monster Hunter Wilds. Now with the recent title updates for Monster Hunter Wilds, there has been some very aggressive monsters, and some upgrades for the apex predators. My favorite so far is this His name is Steve, by the way. And Capcom officially named him, not me. One of the reasons why I love Wilds more than World is the monsters that you fight in this game compared to World. Now, I'm not saying that World has bad monster designs, it's just I like the designs more in Wilds in my opinion. It just satisfied my monster flavor, if you know what I mean. Kinda hard to explain. Let's talk a little about me. Just hear me out, it's connected to my point. I'm a guy who loves Resident Evil games the most. I'm a guy who prefers Bloodborne more than Elden Ring. I'm a guy who thinks that the Valhazak design is one of the coolest monster design in world. And I'm a guy who thinks that dragons, the vanilla looking ones, are a bit overrated. Do you guys kinda see the point why I like Wilds more than World? I like the creepy but unique designs. Something that makes your skin crawl or makes your hair stand on end. I like the aggressiveness of the monsters here. I also like the variety of the monsters, going for like a Chinese dragon or weasel, going for spiders, going for different kinds of apes, going for hentai, I mean octopus. Some even look kinda angelic like in Evangelion, or even look demonic. And you also have this thing, something you just can't describe, how it attracts your curiosity to the unknown. What is it? What does it do? It makes me want to know more about the monster, especially the ones that doesn't look obvious to what it is. That's why I love the monster designs in Wilds more than in World. I like the flagship monster in World, Nergi. I call him Nergi, short for Nergigante, but I like Artsi more regarding to his monster design and his unique ability. I think that's about it for the gameplay. I guess the only remaining left to cover is the story. It's okay. Nah, that's mean. To be honest, it's nothing to write home about. It's better than the world story, that's for sure. Though, it was kinda stupid in my opinion, that these people, or rather their ancestors, made the guardians as their defense mechanism. Now that didn't work out, did it? The Monster Hunter stories, not the game, isn't really their strong suit. It's just there for you to progress the game. For me, it's like Elden Ring. Elden Ring has a better story, don't get me wrong, but it's more about the gameplay rather than the story. There's lore and stuff, but I would rather watch someone make a YouTube video about it. And that's also how I feel with Monster Hunter games. Though I do like the character development for some of the characters, and Capcom does know what gamer wants. I think I covered most what I wanted to say with this game. And now that I'm done, all I can say is that playing the game was a wild experience. No pun intended. Well, anyways, hope you guys had fun watching the video. Also, if you guys didn't know, I have another YouTube channel where I put all my VODs and some edited shorts. If you want to see me live, I stream on Twitch and I update my schedule regularly, so you can know what time I'm gonna be live and what games I'm gonna play next. Well, that's about it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and see ya on the next video. Have a beautiful time! Did you like the video? Well, if you did, how about liking the video? On top of that, you should subscribe too. Ah, by the way, if you want more videos made by me, click here on the screen. Come on, just click it. It won't hurt ya. You won't? Okay then, fine. See you later, I guess.